Hey, Septima. I'm so happy to be here with y'all. You have no idea. I'm only back for 3 whole days. I leave in the morning for Bali. So I got to tell you that y'all are my anchor. And Tracy Brown has been killing it this month. See, I watch online too. And so it doesn't matter where I am in the world, you're always with me. I'm actually still connected with people. They still reach out to me. It doesn't matter the time zone and this place. And when I hear about the world parliaments of religion like Tracy talked about, and there's no community like this in the world. And because it's special. Y'all are special. And we're continuing to make more and more communities like this in the world. So it's nice to be home. All right, so she's put together a great month. Week 1, there ain't no mountain high enough, right? Week 2, climb every mountain. Week 3, last week, Tracy said, think like a mountain. And as you just heard, this week is about mountain, move out of the way. Move out of the way. So I thought Tracy put together the study guide and all of the weeks and all of it. And just huge kudos to Dr. Tracy because she's just really rocked it this month. We're so blessed. And so she does a spiritual practice each week. So I figured in order for you to really get what I'm going to share today, we're just going to start with her spiritual practice. We just need to start with affirming. So I want you to affirm, as you see, I love miracles and miracles love me. So let's start there. I can't speak real loud, so y'all do it. I love miracles and miracles love me. Good. No thing and no person can block my miracles. No thing and no person can block my miracles. Great, let's do that again. Let's do both. You ready? Go. I love miracles and miracles love me. No thing and no person can block my miracles. No, ma'am. No, sir. And so it is. And sometimes we do block it, right? So no one or nothing except for sometimes me, right? So Tracy had this question. She said, I want you to answer this question for everybody today. And I said, okay. She wanted me to share what I believe are 3 things that true believers, these are her words, what are 3 things true believers always do that result in them experiencing more miracles than others? So I'm here to answer that question. It's only my opinion. But there are 3 things that I believe that we've heard, it's done unto you as you believe, right? So what are these true believers, it's done unto you as you believe, doing? Because we each need to continue to transform our own lives so that we can continue to be big miracle workers in our own life, yes? You be a big miracle worker in our own life, miracle worker in our spiritual community here, and goodness knows we need to be miracle workers in the world. And as we each are doing that for our own life, we're making a big difference in the world. So you ready for the 3 things? Yes. Okay, I'll be back in a minute. All right, first one, declaration. Declaration. You've got to, the first step and the first key thing is you've got to decide where you want that mountain to move. You're at choice and you got to do the choosing. That's a key thing. And as you choose and you decide, mountain, get out of the way. You are the declaration point. And I tend to do exclamation points in my declaration points, right? Because that helps me. I have to fire it up so there's no wiggle room or no doubt or no fear because it is going to creep in. But the first thing we each have to do is decide and declare. Mountain, move. And we need to see it. We need to hold the vision of it, and we need to know what it is. And we can do more than one at a time, but we need to see it, we need to hold our vision of it, and we need to know what it is. And that is our responsibility. That's Spirit, God-given responsibility. We must choose and declare. So, Ernest Holmes says that when we use our creative imagination in strong faith, it will create for us. Isn't that great? It will create for us. So we're using our creative imagination, and it's going to create for us out of the one substance. I call it the divine oceanic substance, right? We're swimming in it everywhere. Whatever we have formed in thought. So we are the mold that we're putting that thought, right? So in this way, we are co-creating. We are co-creating with Spirit. And we have a good creative imagination. I know you do. You've got some good imagination. And he says it in here that all of this builds. These three things aren't complicated, but they are significant. And when we use our creative imagination, he says, in strong faith, it will create out of the one substance. So, that brings us to number 2. So the first one's declaration, choose, declare, no. Number 2 is to have unwavering faith. I've declared, mountain, move. That's what I want, move, mountain. And now I've got to have unwavering faith. All right, and we have all kinds of thoughts and all kinds of beliefs and all kinds of history on this word called faith, don't we? But it's unwavering faith. So Ernest Holmes tells us that faith is a mental attitude which actually takes hold of substance which exists and brings it right before the eyes of the person as an evidence that the thing did in fact exist. So that's pretty trippy, isn't it? So faith is a mental attitude. So I have to have the mental attitude that this substance, which actually isn't here yet, whatever the mountain is, I've got to hold, take hold of it in such a way inside of me and that it actually does exist. And then because I keep doing that, it, quote, miraculously appears before my eyes in my life or in the world. You with me? So the faith is your own expectancy. That's what faith is. We talked about it in the class this morning. Expectancy. That's what faith is. It's the belief in the unseen before it's seen. Now, I don't know about y'all. Do y'all have times where that's hard to do? So that brings us to this mountain. And so that means that our faith must be as unwavering as the mountain. That mountain, we're telling it to move, but in essence, does the mountain, quote, move? It's just there, right? It's unwavering. It's solid. It's big. And so our faith must be as unwavering as a mountain. And that's the unwavering part of unwavering faith. And I have shared this quote, probably my favorite quote in the entire Science of Mind textbook, probably a half dozen times in the past 8 years here. So yes, I'm going to repeat it again. But this is my anchor. This is my anchor. I come to this quote in my mind ad nauseum so many times. This is my favorite definition of faith that Ernest Holmes has for me in the Science of Mind textbook, and I call this unwavering faith. So faith is this mental attitude that is so convinced of its own idea, which is so completely accepting it that any contradiction is unthinkable and impossible, unfathomable, whatever word you want to use, right? And in my mind, when I fall off, and I'm fallen off of unwavering faith, and I do that a lot, this is where I go. I'm like, wait, but faith is this, I got to get this mental attitude inside of myself that's so convinced. I have to convince myself of the idea that, yes, this is actually here, that nothing can get in the way, that mountain can't even get in the way. I'm going to move it out of the way. Any obstacle, any thought, any fear, any doubt, any sickness, anything, it's all coming, and it's going to come, that I must get back to that place like I'm so convinced that this is real, that I accept it so much that anything unlike it is unthinkable and impossible. So when especially things appear to not be happening, that's when unwavering faith has to stay committed no matter what. I have to stay committed to say, mountain, move. Mountain, move. The mountain's moving. It is done. It is here. Whatever the language that we each use. I have to get some water. I had unwavering faith that I would be well enough to be here today. And I fell off that. And I had to keep coming back. That I am here. There's nothing getting in the way of this, right? And so Ernest Holmes says that if a person is seeking to demonstrate, she must tell herself that she has faith in her power and his power, but I'm using the feminine right now. That she has faith in her power, in her ability. Has faith in what? The principle and the certainty of the demonstration for which she works. I must have faith in my own power, which is greater than me. I must have faith in my ability to hold unwavering faith, right? I must have faith in the principle and the certainty that this is going to demonstrate. Faith being a mental attitude is according to law. And even though one doubts, this is the good news, even though one doubts, she can overcome her doubts and create the desired faith, definitely. So if a doubt comes up, that's not a bad thing. You're not doing something wrong. Unwavering faith is unwavering faith until it's not. And when it's not, what now? We've got demonstration. We've got unwavering faith. What's number 3? Until it's not unwavering faith, we have to be unwavering in our unwavering faith. You have to come back to it. Here's something I can almost guarantee. You're going to get pushed off the mountain. We all have. Some of us, it feels like we fall further than others. Some of us get scrapes. Some of us break a few bones. But this wonderful, the way life works, called science of mind, does not guarantee that things aren't going to happen. And they do happen. And I think that's one of the things is from the outside, looking at someone else that maybe has been practicing science mind longer than you or whatever. It's like, yeah, well, she can do it, I can't. Well, you know, Peter never falls off the mountain. Karen never falls off the mountain. I can't cough, but you get it. So-and-so, they got it so good, they never fall off the mountain. Oh, yes, we do. I fall off the mountain pretty much every day of my life. And that's the truth. So something's going to push you off the mountain. But we're the only ones that can decide to keep getting back into the space of unwavering faith. So I have to be unwavering in my unwavering faith, right? And returning to that unwavering faith when doubt creeps in or something really does knock you off. You got tired or you got sick. I'm like, oh my God, I've never been so sick, it feels like, in the past 6 days up in New Hampshire. All I did was lay in a zero gravity chair for 6 days, couldn't do a thing. And boy, did I fall off that mountain. And boy, did a lot of fear creep in. How am I going to do what I do if I can't stay healthy and fly all over the world? What's going to happen to this new company? What's going to happen to me? Oh, should I really have left that position? Oh my gosh, what were you thinking? You really want to travel around the world and have a ministry and have a camera in your hand? Whatever. You know, what was I thinking? Because something different than what I was holding knocked me off and came about. And when things appear not to happen fast enough or whatever, we get knocked off the mountain. What if you're moving along and the door all of a sudden gets shut on you? What if the path where you were walking on ends up in a dead end? What if all of a sudden a family member's in the hospital or calling you at 3 a.m. or, see, what if the planet keeps burning? We get into doubt and fear. And when this happens, it's so important that if we're to have an active faith, we've got to have the faith of God instead of the faith in God. And this is an anchor for me too, just like that definition of faith. Anything unlike it is inconceivable, impossible. And when I was laying in that chair, in that zero gravity chair, how am I going to get on an airplane on Thursday to come home to speak, to get on a plane on Monday morning to go to Bali for a month? And I'm like, I better have the faith of God that I am well and whole and perfect and complete right now. Right? But not just once. Every time the fear, the doubt crept in. I did watch some Queer Eye to take my mind off of it every now and then. And some other stuff, you know, just to take my mind off of it. But we have to have the faith of God, merely than this faith in God. And to know that that is who we are. And I'd like to imagine sometimes, wonder what the faith of God is like. It must be big. He continues on this quote, when we are convinced that under divine law all things are possible if we only believe and work in conformity with the principles of that law, such a faith does not spring full-orbed into being, but grows in knowledge and experience. So over 15 years, I've been growing the knowledge and experience so that my faith could become fully orbed again. That unwavering faith that no matter what I've done, not nice to my body over these past 10 years, it knows how to heal itself. And to use it over and over again, and then to continue that no matter what the outside appearance, no matter what I'm coughing up, no matter what's going on, we must cling steadfastly to the knowledge that God is good and God is all underneath, above, and around about. That God, Spirit, the universal presence, whatever it is, that divine oceanic substance is right here, right now, and it is so much bigger than me, and I am it, and it is working for my good, and there's nothing that's going to get in my way, and by God, I'm going to move these mountains out of my head because I'm tired of listening to them, right? And I'm not going to let the situations and the circumstance or any precedent or anything that's going on. This is what we've got to do, and the only person that can do it for us is us. We have to be unwavering in getting back to our unwavering faith. And to know this, so important to know this, that getting pushed off is not a sign that the mountain isn't going to move. And so what do? I do a lot of things. I call and get help. That's the first thing I do. I call or I text. I call or I text my prayer warriors. Oh my God, I must have caught something on a flight from Germany to New Hampshire. I am sick. I need to have my health and wholeness right here and right now. I'm a little scared. It's not feeling well. I need treatment now. After I ask for those prayer requests, then I'm very careful what I let enter into my realm right there. I watch what I'm watching, and I get out the Science Mind textbook, and I start reading meditations or whatever it is on my phone. I have a folder called Me. And it's all quotes and anything that I need to help me get back to unwavering faith. And I'll say them out loud. And I'll, meditate on them. I'll do whatever it takes. And I do this all the time. All the time. And one of the issues is when we get knocked off of that mountain where I tend to go. I don't know about you, but there tends to be this misinterpretation in that moment that I failed. I failed. I didn't do this right. Here I go again. And so I just constantly practice. Okay, here I go. I got to get back to unwavering faith. I have health and wholeness in my life. I have longevity in my life. Get back. Because, again, a lot of people will observe, like, oh, y'all know, there's so many stories. It's the Jan Van Zant story. Oh my God, look at it. Jan Van Zant. She just, out of nowhere, became this superstar. Now she's on Oprah and she has her own show and she's speaking all over the world. Oh my God, that was like an instant miracle. Oh no, if you knew her story, it took decades. But we only see the outcome of someone else. And so this is truly what I do all the time inside of me, is I practice it. Even and especially at the times I'm ready to give up. So constantly be in practice. And especially in the moments where you get knocked off the mountain. The doctor says, I ain't working, or I'm a little concerned. I think we're going to have to do this. Then I've got to do whatever it takes to get back to unwavering faith that that mountain's going to move. Those are the three things. And there's like a 3B. 3B, you have to remind yourself, you chose this mountain to move and get out of my way. And so you start back over at number 1. You know, I made a choice and I want this mountain to move. And I remember that. And I choose this mountain to move. I declare this mountain to move. And what I know about mountains and what I know about you and what I know about me, and what I know about we, with everything that's going on in our individual life, in our community's life, and in the life of this planet, I know one thing for sure. None of us would have been put on this mountain unless it was to show people how it can move and things can change. Right? So we've been put on this mountain called our life right here and right now, and we've all been drawn to this teaching, this community, this new thought, one another, to prove that we can move mountains and they're going to get out of the way. And so I'm going to end with this quote. And it says, if one will have faith in herself, faith in her fellow men, in the universe, and in God, that faith will light the place in which she finds herself. And by the light of this faith, this unwavering faith, she will be able to see that all is good. And the light shed by this faith will light the way for others. So whatever it takes, every day of your life, to keep pulling yourself, especially when you've been knocked off the mountain, to declare, this is what I want. Doesn't matter what we see happening. It doesn't matter what's happening in climate change right now. It doesn't matter what's happening in the political systems right now. It doesn't matter what's happening in our own lives, in our own finances, in our own health. It doesn't matter. We are unwavering faith that that mountain moves. And just like that, it's going to move. And it's going to appear like a miracle. And it isn't. It's actually the way it really works. Reprieve, please, band, and we're going to, I'm going to ask y'all to do a little bit of that, Move the Mountain, please, because that was so brilliant. This is an audible. They're catching it. And then I'm going to do a treatment for us, because we don't pray enough in here. Let's go. We do. Don't get me wrong. We do. I mean, after a talk. What's your mountain? Move out of my way. See it? Move out of my way. Get the vision of it. What do you want to declare? What do you want to declare in your life? What do you want to declare for humanity? What do you want to declare for Dallas? Keep doing it. So it's in this moment, in this collective consciousness, that there is a recognition that there is one power, there is one presence, there is one mountain. There is that which is joy, creativity, beauty, abundance, wholeness. There is divine right action always taking place. Divine right order. There is an awe in the recognition that this one life knows how to unabashedly give to itself fully and freely and hold nothing back. And as I know that this one life is this, I know that I am that. I am the place where life shows up in all of its grandeur and glory and awe. That's Karen. And as I know this to be the truth of me, I know it to be the truth of we. Each and every one of us is the wholeness of life itself expressing. There's nothing that needs to be added. There's nothing that needs to be taken away. We are worthy of the glory of this life and our experiences. And so we open our minds, we open our hearts in this moment. As I speak the word for each and every person in the sound of this voice, and know that in this moment something new is activated. It doesn't matter what has come before this moment. It doesn't matter what we've done in our life. We are not bound by any mistakes, and something in our life right now is healed and activated, and clarity and decisions and new grooves and new moves and new patterns are birthed. And that we once and for all know that we are the power and the presence and the life itself. And we co-create with this life to unfold our great life and our greatest yet to be. And as we know this for our individual lives, we know this for our collective lives. We know this for every single person in a place of power, in position, in government, a CEO of a company, the startups, the teachers, the healthcare workers, the first responders, the grandparents, the mother, fathers, uncles, aunts, the neighbors, the city workers, the sanitation workers. Every single one of us is this beacon of light, and we collectively come together to shine it and show up for one another. Celebrating each and every life. I see the mountain. I am the mountain. And the mountain moves for each and every one of us right here, right now. And so it is.